side, so maybe they can take those laning phases to
자,
Cloud9.
카본 대 C9. 징크스가 드디어 풀렸더니 카본 선수들이 징크스를 그냥 가져가 버리네요.
And if you look at his history, he's only played it once throughout the entire summer, and he lost. So this is a risky pick, but Xerath locked in.
상대방이 잘하는 걸 굳이 줄 필요가 없다라는 논리 아래 카본 팀과의 대부분의 경기는 다 징크스가 밴이 됐었거든요, 그동안에.
Instantly, Morgana with the Black Shield and Kayle with her ulti to simply deny the pick potential from Kaboom. Now you have a Xerath and a Kha'Zix as well for the long range poke here. Cloud9 is really setting up to just start poking down Kaboom. You have so much disengage already, and you have of course the Kayle ulti to save whoever gets called out.
Siege the turret and burn it down as fast as possible. It's a definite possibility for Cloud9. I'm absolutely certain they won't want a repeat performance of the struggles they had in Game 1.
No, because it was actually a strange game. Also talking with Cloud9, they were not happy even though they won the game because they knew it was a bad start. Minerva especially was looking great down this bottom lane again, of course, because all Cloud9's focus was on Lep in the top lane, which we have seen a few times. Actually, only the last game he played was the one where he didn't get focused and he didn't even die.
Absolutely. So now, of course, that the champions are locked in, they're going to be heading onto the Rift in just a moment. Who do you guys at home think will take this matchup? Tweet us your hashtags, KBM win or C9 win to @LOL Esports, and of course, we'll see which comp you think will come out ahead. This is going to be an interesting one. Will Kaboom win the vote? They have done a couple of times, but they're up against Cloud9 now. Cloud9 fans, of course, America will still be awake on the West Coast.
징크스 같은 경우에는 징크스가 보호받을 수 있다는 어떤 조건이 좀 필요하죠. 저렇게 이제 드레이븐, 징크스 같은 캐릭터들은 쓰레쉬같이 랜턴으로 던져서 이제 이동기를 커버해줄 수 있는, 이동기가 없다면 커버해줄 수 있는 캐릭터들과 함께 할 때 훨씬 승률이 좋고 안정감이 더해지고요.
On to the Rift, Kaboom on the blue side, Cloud9 on the red as these teams get a little bit of a rematch.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Day 4 of Singapore. All up in the air. The group stages have been very entertaining over the last 2 weeks. Who will reach the quarterfinals? It is all going to be decided today. Will Kaboom cause an upset and force Cloud9 out? If Cloud9 lose this game, they are effectively out in the group stage. It is not something they want for sure. It is absolutely a must-win game for them.
Yeah, we see it in the picks as well for Cloud9. Very safe picks here, going for this siege combo as well, and looking at the picks from Kaboom and saying, okay, a lot of pick potential. Let's get the Morgana, let's get the Kayle here, even though Balls normally doesn't play it, but obviously they had a few weeks in Korea to practice, and we've seen a lot of new champions from these teams because that's such a long time to boot camp.
Seeing if he picks up any more potions. Kind of just heads out of lane on that one, doesn't decide to. And everybody beginning to move in for the deep ward. So Dan's going to see that. The pings go out. We still get the safe early game here. This is really going to pay off for Minerva, especially in the bottom lane. Like I said, excited to see that Jinx coming out.
And I want to see if Sneaky actually wants to build a BT as his first item. We have seen it a few times on Lucian when you have like these siege comms where you complete your BT and then you instantly go mid lane and you just start sieging up on towers. And the reason it's so good is simply because you're going to get the shield and the lifesteal, so you can walk into the tower, hit it a few times, take some damage, or survive if someone like Syndra is there and stuns you. And then you can always lifesteal on the minions once again, and you obviously don't need any crit when you're hitting a tower.
이제 앙댕님에 대해서 제가 말씀드리는 거는 바램을 뭐라 그러는 게 아니고 저를 제외한 다른 사람이 즐기만 하는 걸 수도 있잖아요 라고 생각을 하시잖아요. 아니라고요. 저랑 같이 하는 친구들이 그냥 소풍이나 다니는 그런 친구들로 생각하시는데 그거를 좀 수정을 하시면 좋겠어요. 방송에 대한 바람은 여러분들이 누구나 편하게 수 있지만은 저랑 같이 하는 친구들 중에 즐기면 하는 사람은 없고요. 이기는 게 즐김이고 실력 향상에만 연습에만 그것이 맞춰놓고 있어요. 아이고, 그리고 너무 이렇게 킬타임이 2레벨 싸움에서 이렇게 킬타임인 거는 이번 대회 처음 아닌가 싶은데요. 왜냐면은 요 2레벨 먼저 상대방 싱글 같으면 빼는 거는 뭐 딱히 어려운 건 아니어가지고 이거는 이거는 조금 초보적인 실수가 좀 나왔죠. 기본적인 실수가. 이번 때 처음 나온 것 같아요. 제 기억에는 2레벨 이렇게 킬 나온 거는. 그러니까 그 여러분들 뭐 이거는 뭐 실버라고 모르는 게 아니고 다 아는 거잖아요. 긴장해서 그런 거지 이런 거는 말 그대로 가장 기본적인 기본인데.
One of the things he loves to do lately, play a little bit more passive and get himself pretty beefy before he shows himself.
부담감이라든가 여러 가지 요인이 제거는. 아이고. 거기다 앨리스까지. 그럼 앨리스가 묶이고 카직스는 그냥 편하게 사냥만 하면 되지. 그러면은 딱히 긴 갈 것도 없이.
And notice how Danagon has been sitting down his bottom lane for like the last minute actually, but he couldn't really gank because Minerva was so low. Also slapping Lep a few times in the face. But Danagon is a jungler who loves to just sit and wait in the lane and like either look for the counter gank or be very patient at least before he goes in. And it often means he falls very far behind on farm, and he's already falling behind the Meteors right here because he was sitting in bottom lane.
그리고 앙댕님 그 뭐 딱 한 번 들키면 걸러졌다 그러시는데 없는 얘기 들어주지 마시고요. 그런 적이 없어요.
Looking to be one that's sticking pretty well to high here. 33 to 22 in CS. Still has a bunch of potions to chug on both sides here. So we'll see if Tenons can get high, down, and back. Already level up, doing quite well.
Yeah, it's right that you mentioned that because I mean that's what's really been one of the winning things for Kaboom.
이거도
so close early stages. It's a three-man push up here. Tenons is rightfully backing away. They have the coverage on the side, so they know they're safe above.
댓글 보는데 글을 보는데 너무 뭐랄까 잘못 이해하고 계셔가지고 제가 한마디 말씀드린 거예요. 지금 경기 들어가서
Kaboom actually have done well in lanes. They've managed to hold steady with Najin Whiteshield, with Alliance, with Cloud9 in the previous matches. So to start falling behind this heavily, looking towards the AD carries, of course, even the fact that Balls is trying to get ahead of Lep is a little bit of a worry.
Yeah, in this game I actually would have loved if Kaboom decided to lane swap like they did yesterday against Whiteshield, and it actually meant they could keep the laning phase going for a long time. They could just be farming. Let's see what happens here.
They're gonna go in.
이거 너무 주도하는데요 게임을. 라인이 안 그래도 당겨지고 있는데 이렇게 되면 징크스 입장에서 너무나도 괴롭죠 게임이. 이거를 풀어주려면은 정글러 가서 쫙 풀어줘야 되는데.
Then some return damage onto Meteors here, and we actually just saw the voting beforehand. Kaboom lost.
예, 스킬러도 먹게 돼요 이렇게. 자, 탑갱, LD 탑갱 각 좋고요. KL이 뒤로 훅 빼니까는 볼지 선수가 저런 움직임이 이번에 되게 좋아진 것 같아요. 지금 와드가 없음에도 불구하고 이거 지금 볼지 선수가 완전히 감으로 상대방이 올 것이다 생각하고 뒤로 한번 빼주는 무빙을 또 한번 해줬거든요. 그래가지고 지금 저런 움직임을 계속 해주는 거지, 페이크를. 그러니까는 정글 입장에서는 와드가 있나? 싶은 거죠 이게. 이것도 안정거리 일단은. 정글 입장에서 이러면은 와드가 있나? 점점 의심을 하게 되거든요. 그리고 라인이 미는 라인이기 때문에 갱각도 내기 쉽지 않고 지금 가야죠 그쵸? 차라리 그냥 거미폰으로 들어가는 게 맞지 않나 싶었는데, 왜냐면 거미폰으로 미니언 타고 들어간 다음에 고치를 써서 전멸을 뺀 다음에 그 다음에 이제 좀 더 맞지 않나 싶었는데 뭐 전멸 뺐으니까 뭐 아예 의미가 없었던 건 아니고요.
Feeling quite sure of himself, diving past the turret with a bit of safety of Elimination Shield, hopefully defying those hooks to come out. And Minerva doing what he can in the bottom lane. Everybody does what they can right now. Tenons could really strike up something in the mid game. That part where we have seen Kaboom fall off, bring that out with Syndra.
Yeah, I mean, finally playing his favorite champion again. We've seen it on it once, and he actually looked really good in this game as well. winning the lane in terms of farm early on, and we have seen the jungle pressure from Danagon. It was top lane, it was bottom lane, so it wasn't because of Danagon he's doing well, it's just purely one-on-one in here.
This is the problem, though, that the fact that when your top and bottom lane are falling behind, Danagon's being pulled for either direction.
근데 미드 신드라도 그렇고 카본 경기 보면은 대체로 CS가 굉장히 높아요. 지금 이번 경기만 이제 바텀에서 초반에 그 죽으면서 좀 많이 밀려서 그렇지.
Because you cannot have a Jinx falling so far behind. Cloud9 can take this Lucian into the mid game, and Minerva will have to wait like 20-25 minutes before he can even join the fight. So Danagon, he needs to come down here, try and set up a kill. The Black Shield from Lemonation is going to be pretty annoying though, when you have Cocoon and Hook.
You see the little things that Dan's is doing here from Minerva, grabbing the minion wave and taking it away from the turret, defying Sneaky, that easy aggro under the turret right here. Make sure you ward that brush before you walk any farther though. Setting up camp and a nice dark passage to get him to safety on that one. It was looking real dark there, but they get out.
Managed to get out. No lane ward actually from Dante or Minerva. He's the guy sitting with the trinket ward.
It's because they've had to switch. They've switched to sweeping lenses so quickly that, like you say, there's no trinket from Minerva. He could have put it down there, but I think he wanted to get it in the river. They're so worried about Meteos' movements across the map.
Yeah, it is very normal when you go back and get your side stone, you then swap to sweeping lane as a support. And look here on Minerva, he has a special little build on Jinx where he actually rushes Ghostblade. And it seems like he's going towards it. I mean, that's going to be a brutalizer probably with the longswords as the first item.
See how it works out for him. Top lane, of course, we do see Balls going early Berserker Greaves with those double rings. So making sure he gets a bit of that movement, a little bit careful, of course, did use that flash early on. There's the culling going down on Minerva. The entire chunk going down, forced out the summoner heal just towards the end to make sure there was no proc of damage. High meanwhile,
nice
he's caught out by a stun.
Oh, no ulti to follow through though. Blue buff is just going to allow him to keep that pressure on, and then he'll throw it out. Meteos letting down the pinks, or using the pinks that have already been laid down to start, clearing out. 95 to 83 in that lane still.
And you can start seeing the difference. This is where the pressure, Danagon is being pulled from every direction. He's falling behind Meteos right now in terms of farm. Meteos is quite happy. He can just keep on clearing that jungle as quick as he needs to, because the lanes simply put don't need him. He's just supplying the vision coverage that's required from him, but that is it.
It's just the worst situation as a jungler. You're like, okay, top lane is calling for help, bottom lane is calling for help, and you know it's so hard for you to even set up the ganks. We saw Balls up in the top lane. He had ulti, he had flash the first time. Danagon could have returned to top lane after he forced the flash, but decided then to look bottom lane, and obviously that's just been a losing battle for Kaboom so far.
It's interesting we see the CS differential between Tinones and High, because this is obviously the exact reversal of what High had against Froggen, and obviously everyone was talking about how Froggen was falling behind in lane. Well, it's kind of the matchup. Syndra is out farming Xerath, it's simply put.
And we always knew High in the North American LCS to kind of be somebody that didn't prioritize farm in lane. He'd be okay with doing super safe and then come out big for the team later. So maybe he's kind of playing that role once again.
Well, Xerath is a pretty safe laner. You have very long range to sit and farm, and you can simply avoid Tinones to ever get onto you, ever land a stun onto you, and be able to burst you down. Top lane though, Balls once again trading with Lep.
Great damage coming in from Lep here, really using that catalyst to stay up in health, keep himself healthy per level. It's really helping to keep him up against Balls, and now pushing him into his own turret.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of farm up here, going towards the Rod of Ages early on, as we always see on Rise, simply to get it stacking, get past your mid-game point where you're stacking up your tier and your Rod of Ages.
Oh, Cloud9 starting out the Dragon. Meanwhile, the top laners are being kept busy. Balls has to use that intervention early, but it is going to be Cloud9 and look to be securing their first Dragon of the game.
So this Dragon by Cloud9 was actually set up simply because Tinones went back to base, and High was still standing in the lane, and he saw him back, and they're like, okay, he's back in base, we can be 4 people starting Dragon, let's do it.
Teamwork OP, clearing wards together. Looks like they'll make it out safely. A nice ward in the Death Brush lets Tinones know he can't venture too far in. You see his first buy after that Chalice being a needlessly large rod. He really wants to make an impact here.
So you were talking about the Ghostblade obviously being built up by Minerva, but it's one thing to get to that first item and maybe it works out well, but if your lane partner against Sneaky and he's going to have that Infinity Edge completed first, it's kind of defeating the purpose.
Yeah, I feel like the Ghostblade, for him at least, is simply going to be because they have the single target burst of Rise and Syndra. We can talk about it later. No, Danagon, such actually not. go for the game because of Black Shield. But I feel like so the Ghost Blade is simply gonna be because Kaboom wants to have like these 5-6 seconds.
미드라이너 보면은 카푸 미드라이너 보면 전반적으로 항상 CS가 높았어요. 물론 하이 선수가 좀 안전하게 하는 경향도 있긴 하지만은 바텀 때문에 이 힘차이 때문에 올해도 안 될 거 같은 생각이 좀 많이 드네요 이거는.
So an answer from High with that needlessly large rod. Tinones, well thought out. Gets the rotation up top as High goes back to clear out the pink wards and start moving some of their wards forward as well. Dandagorn has had this sight stone for a while and it's only getting placed in their jungle. Now we see them start to venture their way into Cloud9's side. Now knowing where Meteos is, he hasn't been able to create too much. Like we said, his lanes were doing good, but maybe they can start to cut him down a bit before he does get going as well.
Well, Lep's been unaffected by any pressure. Oh, Lemonation got out. Good Black Shield comes out. Dark Binding lands. Got out. Good Black Shield comes out. Dark Binding lands. And he just strolls on out of there. 3v1, no problem.
Yeah, you need to hit those. I'm not even sure the Black Shield was up in time there. They just actually missed the stun and the hook. And you have to land them if you want to get the picks with this comp Kaboom is using. Cloud9 though, because they killed this bottom lane tower, they can instantly just swap top. Kaboom is not ready. Oh, they are actually. Dandagorn and Dance are here.
They're completely ready. They're going in top. Gonna catch on. Soul Shackles. Is it gonna land? He's not. Dance is in trouble though. Meteos is there. Flash through. Almost missed out. Took Tao. Tower hits. They're trying to gift it across instead. Meteos will finish it off. But in comes Tinones. The delay. And the flash already used by Meteos there cost him his life. High. The Chomper's gonna stop him catching on towards Minerva. Sneaky returns back to that top lane. Lep has to be backing away from this one. He's got the support of Tinones, but he's taken so low, they still may be able to dive him.
Very, very close. The artillery coming in from High.
Nope.
Fire a cork back just on the tail end of the damage there. Getting aggressive here in the top lane. It's still 2-1 in kills, but they're not going to stop. Scout of the Week trying to come out from Tinones as he grabs a double buff off of that. They are able to push back Cloud9 a bit. Save that top turret, but they're down still from that first dragon in the laning phase so far.
So as Kaboom actually saw Elimination move towards the top lane, they started sending Dandagorn and Dance up there, and Tinones was ready to move from the mid lane. As soon as the dive happened, Meteos with the flash, seemed a bit weird, flashing actually behind Dance, and then suddenly Tinones is there. He has a lot of farm. He now picked up a kill. He's going to be very strong on this Syndra here.
Absolutely going to be a problem. And we were talking about, obviously, rises throughout this tournament. Lep has been unaffected in that top lane. Got that Rod of Ages completed. Tier's been stacking out nicely. Just building up towards that power spike.
He was farming well yesterday on Aurelia as well. As long as he doesn't get camped by the enemy jungler, he's actually doing fine on getting all the farm he needs, getting towards the late game points of something like a Rise.
Powerful, very slow. If Cloud9 figures that something's getting too strong too fast, they will definitely clamp down on that. So you got to stay in the shadows to get bigger here. So far, Lep's doing that. Tinones showing himself somewhat. Dance trying to clear out a little too much in the ward. Lemonation get caught here. Can Lep put down the Room Prison, get a flash out of him. Great fade away Dark Binding coming in on Dandagorn. They decide not to engage any further.
Balls were so close to finishing that one off. Just lost the vision of Dance when he went in towards that push. Tinones takes a blast from High. Starting to take control of this lane, but as you mentioned, Tinones is starting to get stronger. Got that first kill in there. Picked up that needlessly large rod a while back, so he's going to be sitting on a chunk of gold, but this is a problem. Sneaky is starting to run a little bit wild on Minerva in this bottom lane.
He's got his own army here in the bot lane. Meteos is just kind of watching from the side. Lep getting hit up. Dandagorn again in the pocket of Lep. Every time they force off, Cloud9 is taking little bits. They know not to go too far because Kaboom will engage. Choppers go down and not going to lock that one. Still, I don't know if they know Meteos is here, and High's actually edging down as well.
Yeah, all the wards in this jungle is from Cloud9,
right.
So they can see Kaboom. At least there was actually one ward here, so they probably did spot him before and
good zap.
Zapped him in the bot as well. Spot him and force him away. It's still about this bottom lane. I mean,
mid lane for a very long time untouched.
예, 이건 뭐 바텀 차이가 이렇게 나버리면은 예. 나중에 힘싸움할 때도 너무 많이 차이 나가지고 어려워요 좀. 징크스가 클 때까지 위에서 버텨주는 거 말고는 말 그대로 이거는. 그래서 징크스가 킬 먹고 예, 그때까지 버텨줘야 되는데 이렇게 죽으면 안 되거든요.
Good time to stay safe. Dragon is now alive right here. Good is now alive.
근데 징크스가 무한의 대검이 아니고 요음을 빌드하는 건 참.
The Rod of Ages is still stacking up. They're going to be backing on this one though. There's a bit of rocket. Not going to do too much. They'll know though what's going
저거는
down.
좀
Dragon
모르겠다.
goes down once again for Cloud9.
Still, we have to look at Tinons with this early DFG for him, simply because he got the kill and got so much farm in lane, and he knows he needs to get kills early on here, otherwise Cloud9 can just keep pushing every single lane.
There's the
this
power.
top lane. It's looking stronger and stronger. He's going to get the tower.
Yeah, that's a trade that Balls didn't even get close to winning this time around, and you can see he's starting to actually have problems up against Lep now. Lep becoming stronger and stronger. That tower will go down. First one of the game for Kaboom, and that's going to free up Lep. We'll see where he goes from here. The biggest problem is that Sneaky has kind of gone unchecked for the majority of this game.
Yeah, but Kaboom still, they have so much damage on their team already. If they do decide to group up, they can instant kill the members of Cloud9. Every single one. As long as Balls isn't there with the ulti, someone from Cloud9 will die. And that can be the trick for Kaboom. If they want to stop this laning phase where they are going to lose this bottom lane tower and just start looking for team fights, looking for picks.
And that's where Kaboom said they have been a bit weak, you know, as they said themselves. This is where they need to take some chances. See Lep already getting himself in. Great deep wards. Nothing Balls can do about it. So they're really using their time efficiently here to get what they need.
It's a 3v2 push in the bottom lane. Tinons is coming around, but he will be spotted out by wards, which is why
어쨌든 신드라가 잘 컸기 때문에 버티는 수밖에. 이 말 그대로 정말로. 잘라먹으려고 딱히 이렇게 할 필요 없이 이런 거 좀 그렇죠. 신드라만 이용하면 돼. 신드라만.
Nothing thrown out whatsoever.
Finding.
Nope, not going to go through that black shield.
Meteors again, just sitting down this bottom lane because Cloud9 is constantly pushing.
이게 튀어나와서 하면은 불리해질 확률이 너무 높기 때문에 이게.
Meteors is just sitting ready, waiting for Kaboom to make a move there, and then instantly counter gank it.
카본 계속 이렇게 땡겨서 계속 파밍. 인데 고속도로가 뚫릴 것 같죠? 이제 신드라 커버 와주려고 하는데.
For so long, they've cleared so many wards. Kaboom keep putting a standard ward on top, and then it's cleared away again because it's being defended by High every single time. Top lane brawl is continuing. Lep is continuing to push Balls back. They're trying to get towards that tower, but I think he may well be better served getting involved with his team because they are slowly losing this battle down the bottom to Cloud9.
Yeah, they need to have some wards actually behind Cloud9 when they're pushing down this bottom lane, so Lep can teleport in, flank around them, and then start the fight. Get an easy kill. If Elimination puts the black shield onto Sneaky, well, kill Elimination then. Simple as it is.
저도 카본 선수 스타일에 대해서 딱히 알아보고 준비를 할 생각도 안 했기 때문에 제가 선 요음을 빌드는 굉장히 좀 특이하긴 하네요. 앨리스가 먹어야지. 헐. 좀 빨리 썼지 이번에 스킬. 아 케일이 딜 다 흡수. 하지만은 추가딜 좋고요. 아 힘들어. 케일공 기다렸다가.
And look at that burst here from Tinons and Syndra. As soon as the ulti from Balls was gone, blowing him up instantly. Lep sadly couldn't actually teleport him behind. He had to join the team in the middle of the fight, so no flank from him.
Didn't get around, but it does mean Cloud9 take themselves the second turret of the game, but a little bit of a warning sign for Cloud9 there. If you get out of position, don't have full coverage, you will get burst down.
Yeah, it's a bit of a messy fight at first here. I mean, Cloud9, they want to obviously poke from range, get Danagon really low. It was a good binding from Elimination at first, but then the real fight starts. Balls teleporting in the middle of Kaboom, and as soon as his ulti is gone, well, you're dead.
Overall, a great box from Dan's there. The team was like, sorry, Balls, you're on your own, buddy. 2 minutes coming up onto Dragon. We'll see if we can get Kaboom to get those forward wards out. Most of them are going down to their own jungle now, except for what Lep has done on the top side. Again, that pink ward able to clear out another one.
High has no flash.
Pretty sticky position here. He's going to try to walk around the chompers. He says heal. Thank you very much. He's still taking good damage from Minerva. He's going to get out with half health on this one, just due to that level difference. He wasn't taking that much damage.
He finally got the pink ward down. But High nearly lost his life defending it there. That was a very close and good chompers that forced him to run around. It has put Cloud9 in a sticky situation off the side here. The stun goes down. Meteor's caught out in it. Elimination in trouble. The rocket's coming through. Repels away. Danagon trying to give chase. Elimination getting away. This has given up the top tower to Balls. They do finally get the kill on the support, but to lose a tower and potentially the mid as well, because Sneaky is still pushing. They could lose everything here.
Yeah, so the plan for Kaboom was to start grouping, look for these picks here. They got elimination really, really low, and then ended up chasing him. Will give up this mid tower as well. Oh, you died as well.
Danagorn indeed. Get crumbled up on that one. Cloud9 starting to gain a little bit too strong of a foothold.
Yeah, as soon as Leb left the top lane here, Paul's like, okay, I'm just gonna go take the tower, my team can handle himself. You don't really mind sacrificing your support if you get 2 towers for it.
Absolutely not. Danagorn himself wasn't quite expecting the burst that came out there. We haven't really seen Meteos getting too involved, but let's not forget, he's built up a fair chunk of damage as he's been farming away quite happily. Dragon's up in 20 seconds time. Cloud9 once again in perfect position for it. Check in, no wards. There's not really been any wards in that entire river area from Kaboom for the majority of this game.
It's been a problem for Kaboom in pretty much all the games. Like, they are falling very far behind in terms of warding. We don't see as many pink wards because they don't get the same amount of gold as the other teams because they lose a lot of the objectives, they lose the dragon. So it becomes really hard to keep the wards up.
And it might be an in their own head thing, knowing that they're weaker at this part of the game and they don't want a dragon, but it only starts to hurt them more.
스노블이 좀 계속 흘러와가지고 이게 좀
3 dragons now going over to Cloud9 with an 8,000 gold lead. Those items are being
던지는 거 말고 역전할 수 있는 거리가 좀 없는 것 같아 이거는.
We see and we have seen throughout the year that step up in skill level tends to be hitting the vision control.
Yeah.
It's like the lower teams don't generally think of it or don't pursue it so heavily. They focus on the lanes, the kills, maybe getting an objective after you're lucky, rather than setting up 2, 3, 4 levels, maybe 3 minutes in advance, which you do see sometimes. Obviously, these Korean teams and obviously the Western world teams we've seen a couple of times throughout the world starting to think way ahead of the situation that's currently being played out.
It is just so important that you can pre-plan your own moves, because it's how you catch the other team out of position. It's how you surprise them, and suddenly, even though you're behind, you get the one pick you need because you had the wards placed around the Baron already, and that's how you get back in the game. I mean, just look at Najin White Shield against Alliance, game 1. Alliance 7-0 in kills, and yet White Shield dominated the map in terms of wards, got all the picks they needed, got back in the game. For Kaboom, they need to really learn where to ward and when to buy the wards. Even if you are behind, you need them to get back in the game.
Tinones now with that Void Staff, he could definitely zero somebody out, but now Ball's bringing in the Zanyas, so he can easily focus intervention onto somebody else. It's got to be the right pick at the right time here for Tinones.
Well, we do see, of course, Tinones has the power to pick someone off. We'll see if he can land it. The stun on high is not followed through because he was dodging the stun.
Oh, look at Lep here.
I threw out. Cocoon blocked out. They're going to go in. Lep can get in there. He's got the power. There's the stun. Elimination blown apart. The rocket doesn't quite down Sneaky. But Cloud9, they have to back away from this tower. They have to respect the power Kaboom have.
And this is where Minerva can start going off. Going to get these resets now. They're going to be able to start taking down turrets pretty quick. They have an efficient team to do so. Good wave clear and good ability to stay up. Whoa! Sneaky going down. He got going out. High gets locked up by Dance, making the play.
이거를
Comes up with 3.
뭘 카봄이 스코어를 신드라가 이거 이렇게 저도 깜짝 놀랐네요.
No, we're going to see Lep teleport away because Balls was trying to sneak in that back. He was trying to push that wave down the bottom, but now he's being clapped upon. He's going to get caught out. The Cocoon not quite landed. Doesn't fancy Balls taking one-on-one there. Danagorn repels away. Nope, don't want none of that.
This is the Cocoon here, but wow, Kaboom, once they group up here, they have so much damage and insane pick potential. And Cloud9 not respecting it here, just get caught out of position. Kaboom instantly responds, kill them, gets 2 towers. Suddenly, goal lead is only 5k.
5k. And
I say only 5k, still a bit.
They're creeping back on that. We've seen many games sway from 5k and just go the other way instantly.
But that is something that's going to now be in the back of Cloud9's mind. It's like, whoa, hang on a minute. Couple of flashes, couple of catches, 2 carries go down, 2 turrets mid gone. Yeah, if that happens again, they're in the base on the Nexus turrets.
Yeah, and that's a problem for Cloud9 when they're using Balls as a split pusher, because he's the guy with the ulti to save them, especially from Tinones. But if he's down split pushing, he won't be there to help them. Kaboom at the moment can have left to stand against balls one-on-one once he gets his teleport ready again, and he should be able to hold the waves. And then it's a 4 versus 4 where Tinones is really looking scary.
We talked about Dan's trying to make those plays as well. Caught out with a dart binding this time, and then another stun. He's going to get focused. The stun on Sneaky, not going to get backed up. What I was about to say is Dan's was the man that hooked high. He was the man that led that all the way going through. Of course, Tinones' flash stun was pretty impressive as well.
A lot of aggression. Saying Kaboom, they need to get themselves into the fight, and they did not hesitate to do so. Oh, Danagorn on the outside, stun one after the other. Ball's getting himself in for a few hits. Not enough to cancel him out though, but enough to gain pressure, enough to continue moving forward. Dragon's coming up in another 30.
그러니까 그 C9이 워낙 앞서다 보니까는 어금 안일하게 플레이하는 것만 조심하면 되거든요. C9이 여전히 유리해. 징크스 혼자 있는 것 같다.
And unless Kaboom can get in and actually clear these ping wards and take control of the Baron himself, then Cloud9 can stay, because at some point they can always start the Baron, and then Kaboom has to go in and check.
Now with that rocket down, now lacking and need to keep their eye on it. We keep seeing Dan's, he keeps tossing that lantern around that corner to try and sneak in. He's going to be able to, he's going to get in that ping. Cloud9 have left him off the side. Gotta get in and get out. He's got the ward. Now they're gonna turn focus on him. He's gonna run away. Balls is gonna
이거 퇴로 막히나? 퇴로 아래쪽에? 카직스 아래쪽으로 간다. 아, 죽겠는데요. 예, 이런 식으로 그러니까 낚시 플레이로 하나씩 낚으면 돼요. 질 수가 없을 때까지.
Oh, Dan's right here. He just had to place a ward. When there's a ping ward on Baron, if it's inside the Baron pit, you place your green ward just outside it, and a ping ward can actually spot it. Just
카드가 안에
press
안
the
깔려
ward
있네.
and then back away here. Force Cloud9 to go back, use a sweeper, and then maybe try and do it again. Don't be greedy and kill the ward, because then they will chase you.
Cloud9 being a bunch of bullies now, forcing Kaboom into these fights, one after the other, saying, we'll just sit here until you wander into where we have more power.
They've not punished them for it though. Dan's is going to be back up. All they've done is gone in.
That's true.
Killed a ward, missed the actual ward on Baron, which you can see Kaboom have just pinged and said, we can see it now. That's our job done. Dan's work here was complete. Danagorn gets a cheeky spot. I don't think they're going to be able to get the steal on this one. Rocket's not going to be fired this time from Minerva. They're going to hold on to that one. And that bottom turret is also pressured by minions, so that may be close.
C9이 이 경기를 이긴 다음에 낮은 실드를 이기면 3자 동률이 될 가능성이 높기 때문에 집중을 할 거예요.
12 hit points left. Damn it, Sneaky.
Oh, so close. So Sneaky on items. Infinity Edge, Ghostblade for himself, matched up with what Minerva has right now. 264 to 215 in that laning phase, but they come out. Items across the board and pink wards as well for Kaboom.
Lots of pink wards. You have a side stone as well on Danagorn here, so Kaboom actually want to set up around maybe the Baron pit and wait for Cloud9 to come and face check them. When you have Syndra, when you have it, also a champion like Ahri, you need to have the vision control and use it to get picks, because you force the enemy team to come in and face check you to try and clear the walls.
Kaboom itemizing so much better as well. The Aegis is out there. Do they use the Mikhail here to get Dan's for himself? But he doesn't.
Well, he's down for 30 seconds. One of those pink wards has been cleared. That was Danz's that's gone down.
Yep.
Again, he was the man that was caught out eating them bindings. We'll see whether Cloud9 make it count. He's gone solo as well. He was caught in the crossfire a moment ago. They're going to have to turn away from this one. Cloud9 are going to push them off this one. The jumpers go down, but the Black Shield prevents them going on towards high. Cloud9 disengage, but they have full control over that river area now.
That was a great flash actually by High, because he forced 2 members of the room to flash away. Otherwise, one of them would have been hit and would have died here. Rocket going in.
이렇게 스노우 보면 돼요 그냥.
Good hands catching the rocket. Zaps missed as well. Just about 33 minutes on the clock. Baron gonna go.
질 수가 없는 게임이라서 물론 한타 자체를 한번 놀라운 한타를 보여주긴 했지만.
Return any damage on this. It's all in defense. The Rune Prison will be up. Pops that down. They do get the ultimate intervention.
카지스 궁. 예. 카지스 예. 보여줄 궁 없는 거 알고. 야, 앨리스 날카로운데요. 이거 4대5야. 4대5 그래도. 굳이? 그래 잡았네. 그래도 이기나? 와. 그래도 이기는구나. 이게 질 수가 없는 게임이라서 일반적인 운영을 한다면은 이런 게임을 역전당하는 거는 잘하는 팀이 잘해서만은 역전이 안 되고요. 역전 당하는 팀이 대단히 못해야 역전당하는 게임이거든요. 근데 이게 뭐 롤드컵이 그런 게임이 물론 얼라이언스 대 나이트실드 경기에서 나오긴 했지만은 그렇게 자주 나올 수 있는 게임은 아니에요. 그런 게임은 한국 팀 대 설령 유럽 팀의 대결이라고 하더라도
Kaboom are now down one inhibitor in their base.
Let's just see it
One
again,
more time.
So Lev actually runs in, but he's too late. The Baron is already dead, and Kaboom don't really want to fight, so he's supposed to just try and run away. Rejoins here, his team comes in. Actually, very nice flash cocoon from Danagon onto Balls. And Ulti's already gone. Our last one as well. Picked up an easy kill for him.
That Zhonya's basically delayed a lot of the damage, though. Meteos would have almost certainly popped straight afterwards if they had not delayed that kill, so it worked well. Good itemization, but another great ulti from High, picking off Sneaky. Look how low he went though, just a quick bit of burst. That was a Baron up Cloud9. There's still a lot of burst potential on that Kaboom side today. Even the next play, despite their super minions pushing in the top lane, has to be well thought out.
And you really have to respect Tenons in this game here.
힘의 차이도 많이 나고 조합도 지금 C9이 괜찮은 조합이어 나쁘지 않은 조합이라서 안전하게 하죠. 안전하게. C9이 1위로 올라갈 수 있을 확률이 충분히 있거든요. 1위로 올라가게 된다는 뜻은 뭐냐면은 삼성 블루와 삼성 화이트를 비교할 수 있다는 거예요. 그러면은 여기서 이제 1위로 올라가는 팀은 EDG랑 로얄이랑 붙어서 이기는 팀이랑 4강에서 붙거든요. 결승갈 확률이 대단히 높다는 거죠. 이게 서로가 T조에서 1위는 그런 혜택이 있어요. T조 1위한테.
High taking a bit of chunk there. Left trying to get that burst down, but Sneaky and Balls continuing. The rocket lands on them. They may well chase this one. They're going to push out. Oh, the hook so close to landing.
아이고야 무리하셨다. 이럴 때일수록 침착하게 단일 타겟팅 지식이 조합이기 때문에 신드라랑 대기 쳤다가 같이 천천했어야 했는데 급했네요. 스레시가 계속 좀 급하네요. 워낙 불리해서 이기기 어려운 경기인 건 맞지만 야, 이거 낮은 실드 대 C9 경기까지 가서야 이제 D조 승리가 결정이 되겠네요. 마지막에 가서.